Morning Show today. We're talking about a special event coming up during this weekend. In fact, the Buena Vista Lions Club putting on a special time Halloween party. And in the studio is a member of that organization, Jake Kleckner. I think we touched on this the last time you were here, but here we are right on the verge of the big Halloween doings.
Yeah, we touched on it a little bit. Thanks for having me this morning. It's been just a busy couple weeks here, just kind of getting this ready. Actually, last year this was my project. This year it is Katie Kleckner's project, who is my wife and our service chairperson for this year.
Okay.
So, but she's handling this year. I'm doing the radio portion of it. She's organizing.
Okay, you're the PR guy then, in other words, it sounds like. So
essentially.
How have your events gone? Because you've gotten out there in the public and you've done a number of them this year, Jake.
They've gone really good so far, and we've been happy with the turnout that we've had, and the one takeaway from it is, looking forward, each year is hopefully going to get bigger than the last year. Mm-hmm. And the fact that we've had this much community support early on really says something.
I like the fact that you're really bringing back the park and even the name, Buena Vista Bicentennial Park. I remember when it was first established, so 1976 or right around that area. So it's nice to kind of bring that back, and all those efforts back then are kind of rejuvenated.
Yeah, and we wanted to keep the name the same, just it would have felt wrong to change it, I guess. And everybody kind of agreed on that. There was no need to change it. That's what everybody already knows it as. The people who know that there is a park in Gotham.
Halloween party is coming up this very weekend on Saturday, and it looks like you have lots of outdoor activities. Could you talk about some of them?
Hopefully, they are all weather pending. The weather looked nice last week. It looks like it's changing. Hopefully, it'll kind of swing back around.
Might be a little cooler, but it is November, too, so what can you expect, right?
So keeping that in mind. And it is, slightly after Halloween. And the principle of that was most of us were busy the weekend before Halloween. We didn't want to do it on Halloween because, everybody in our club who has kids, grandkids, they're busy trick-or-treating. So we want to keep our events a day that is not on the holiday. So that way our members have the time to spend with their families, and we can hit it afterwards if people want to come. We've had some success with that. People have reached out and said, hey, we're so glad you're having it after or before because we're going to be busy the day of.
Do not put your Halloween costume away this week then, right?
As far as the outdoor activities go, hay rides, that was something we had last year, and we're going to keep that around this year. With a little more scheduling, kind of. Mm-hmm. So, we'll depart the park, and then I think it takes about 5 to 10 minutes to go around the big block to the hall, and then a couple more minutes back. So about every 20 minutes, that hay wagon will be circling through. And then the pumpkin carving that we had at the hall, we would love to have down at the park. And all weather permitting. But we do have that big shelter down there too, which is nice. So even if it does sprinkle a little bit throughout the day, but not all day, there's still that possibility if somebody just wants to come and carve a pumpkin, do it down there.
That really challenges you. You don't have a lot of time to do things and some wild things at home when you're carving it right at the site. And you got to be on your best game there, I think, don't you? Yeah,
and as far as the pumpkin carving goes, too, we had a great donation of pumpkins this year. Sheila Pulvermacher, just outside of Lone Rock, they donated, I think I counted 35 pumpkins. And then I went up to Mick Hipsch Farm, and he just said, that field over there, have whatever you want. So that was really great of them, and I would like to personally thank them for that.
Well, that works out well. So it sounds like you'll have a number. Is it for all ages to carve the pumpkins?
Yeah,
or is it
definitely.
Kids? Oh, okay.
I mean, I quit counting after 100, so we have between 100 and 150 pumpkins to carve. So
yeah, well, that'll be awesome. We'll give a lot of people things to do. And you're just going to pull the hay wagon around with a tractor then around Gotham? Is that how it works?
Yep, we got that one big block, kind of goes past the park around Wisconsin Street. I call it the big block, I guess, but one of the only blocks in Gotham. Limited.
You're going to have a beanbag toss this year?
Yeah, and that's just going to be, if people want to come out and play beanbags, we have the boards that were donated either by a business or in memory of from the town party that we can bring out. People want to play beanbags. If it turns out to be a good day, we plan on having the concession stand down there open. So burgers, brats, hot dogs, and then we do have a small inventory of soda and maybe an alcoholic beverage or two to get rid of.
And it's during the day Saturday, too, isn't it?
Yes, it is noon to 4.
Noon to 4, Saturday?
Yep, so last year I think we ran like an 8-hour day, and we're cut that in half this year. It was just too long.
And that'll be in the warmth of the day then, so you won't have to be chilled at night as much then.
Yep,
yeah.
And if things don't go our way, we do have, a bunch of indoor activities that we plan on doing too. So if the weather doesn't hold out, we adapt, and it's still going to be a fun day.
It will.
One way or the other.
Tell me about pumpkin golf, Jake.
So pumpkin golf, it's something that Katie had found, and I think is more like a chip shot challenge, kind of. So we'll put the pumpkin out there. You can have various sizes of pumpkins, but we can put them out there. I got some golf clubs sitting around that I never use, and maybe a couple golf balls even.
Oh, okay.
And, chip the golf ball, get it in the pumpkin.
Oh,
just
I
kind
see.
of like a for fun, bragging rights kind of thing.
Oh, I thought you were hitting the pumpkin with the golf club, but not. Oh.
No,
that'd make a mess probably.
No, we don't want to put any ideas in any kids' heads that they can just go take mom or dad's good golf clubs and start hitting pumpkins.
You have the witch ring toss. Tell me about that.
So the witch ring toss was something that we were going to have last year out at the park, and then I think it ended up being really windy, so it didn't work out. It's just a witch hat set up, and then just like a ring toss at the fair, but it's witch hats. So
fun.
Just fun games for hopefully kids of all ages.
And there'll be some mummies there too?
Yep, so the mummy bowling was another thing we were going to do at the park last year, but it was really windy. We had these big inflatable bowling pins. Didn't go real well with the wind.
Live and learn, don't you?
Yeah, pretty much. So that's why, we've gathered, this is the second year we have a budget, keep everything from the year before. We had a lot of stuff the first year was donated from members too. So, we have the availability of having all this different stuff. But if the weather doesn't hold out, we can just say, okay, pull this, put it away, and then we'll do this instead.
Okay. Moving indoors, and you mentioned you're going to be doing a few indoor things. Is there a dance?
So there's a Halloween freeze dance game, which I believe was found on YouTube. You see a lot of these on YouTube. We have a younger boy who used to love watching YouTube until we had to break away from YouTube. But just fun, get the wiggles out. There's music. All kids like to dance, it seems like.
You're going to be leading the limbo, too, aren't you?
Nope, I am driving the tractor.
Oh, you've got a job
Yep,
today.
I have a job. I'm tractor driver.
There will be a limbo game, though.
Yep, there will be an inflatable limbo game that I believe was donated by actually our secretary, Stephanie. Donated that limbo game for the club. So, and it's something that we'll be able to have in future events, too.
Fun for all ages. Gotham Lions putting it on this weekend. Could you talk about some of the other games, Jake?
So some other stuff we have is just pumpkin tic-tac-toe, and that that would be just tic-tac-toe lined out with, if we happen to find an assortment of little gourds or something. If we don't find the little gourds, we just don't have it. Marshmallow ghost stacking, that sounded like actually a fun one. Just kind of a stacking game for the kids. Marshmallows, popsicle sticks, stack them as high as they can before they fall over. And that kind of goes along with the jack stack with the red solo cups. the kids see how high they can stack a tower before it falls over. And who knows, maybe we'll see some speed stackers there.
Maybe, yeah, absolutely. There are some people that are pretty good in that. Some other Halloween-themed games, too, I see.
Yeah, the eyeball dig is going to be there, so we'll be fishing eyeballs out of bowls, cauldrons, whichever we can find. The caramel apple station, that was one that we brought back from last year. So Oakwood Fruit Farm actually donated 4 packs of apples to us, and then we were able to let the kids come in. We had the caramel sauce, and we had an assortment of toppings, and they could do their own however they wanted to.
Sounds delicious. Let's see. Oh, yes, costumes. We mentioned that, too. So you better keep your Halloween costume and use it on Saturday.
Yes, definitely. So the Halloween costume contest, and that came back from last year, too, and I'm glad that it's after Halloween, because last year we had it before Halloween and one of my sons broke his costume.
Oh!
So we got to emergency fix that before Halloween. So
what are some of the categories that you can win? So
some of the categories that we're going to have is going to be scariest costume, cutest costume, most creative, funniest, and then if we have enough groups, we would like to do the best group costume. And then, it'll be, most of it's for fun. Everybody will get like a little thing of, everybody will get a little medal or, whatever we can come up with for a prize.
And that's for old and young and everybody for the costumes?
So, yeah, it's for everybody can wear a costume.
Mm-hmm.
It's Halloween. Everybody dress up. Last year, I don't remember if we broke it up into 2 age groups or not last year. But
great photo opportunities, and everybody has a camera on their phone.
Yep, and then we'll try to. Last year we actually had a photo station set up, so people could take pictures. We had a little fall set up along a fence. And
tell me about your concessions.
So the concessions we're gonna have, provided we can do the ones down at the park. Like I said, that'll be brats, hot dogs, hamburgers, and then we still have pop, a little bit of Gatorade, water, some adult beverages left down there that we are trying to de-inventory before the end of the year. And then up at the hall, we are going to have barbecues and nachos. And then we'll have the apple cider that Oakwood donated half of. So we'll have apple cider and hot chocolate and coffee available too.
Could you talk about some of the committee members and some of the people that help out and put this big event on for Buena Vista Lions?
Yeah, so the first committee that we have, and I'm sure everybody has seen our Facebook posts all over, is our social media committee. And I say a committee, it's really more one person doing the work of like 10, because she just does a fantastic job at these, and we get it out there in our group, and then it gets shared 25 times, and it blows up. We have the donations committee that I kind of head up. So the examples of that is I was able to find pumpkins and apples and cider that got donated to help this maintain being a free event. So the only thing that costs money to come to our event is if you want to get something from the concessions, but not everything at the concessions would be, charged anyways. If we get donation stuff, it's kind of hard to charge for that.
Mm-hmm. Right. And Stephanie Rose, I don't know if we mentioned her name, but she is your social media person.
Yes, I don't remember if I did or not. So thank you. She's our social media person. She is also our secretary. So she really is doing the work of multiple people right now.
Yeah, I can see that. And finances, who works on those?
So then for our finance committee for this event, we have our treasurer, Julie Fleming. She's our club treasurer. And then my wife, Katie, and then myself, because it's her event and I'm the donations person. And then our president, Alex Rose, final say. We vote on everything, but still we have a final say.
Okay.
And then the food committee, Jessica Waneke, she's been doing a great job too. She's the one that's been organizing the food for the baseball tournament that we had down there, for the town party, and just kind of keeping track of what we have and finding the best deals that we can get. And most of everything we have been able to get has been locally kind of sourced anyways. So that's been really nice too.
Will you have a lot of decorations around Gotham?
I hope so. So last year we had quite a few that we started out with. We were able to, reuse most of those, and then this year we set a budget. It was originally $250. We had a little more onto it, so $325 was the budget we had set, so we can keep it a free kind of event.
That's important.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Because and there's plenty other places out there that do this kind of thing too, and it's nice that people can do this, groups can do this, and not have to charge, because there's places that are willing to donate.
Is this one of the last big events for the Buena Vista Lions of the year?
I wish I could say yes, but we are looking at having Santa at Inspired Innovations again this year.
Ooh.
We did that last year. We had Santa and we had a bake sale. We talked about it at the meeting we had last night, so we're just kind of planning that in the background while we're finishing up this. So we never really stop.
Well, that's a good thing,
guess.
though. You're keeping the name out there in the community and being visible. I think that has to help the group grow then, doesn't it?
And that's kind of the big thing that we're looking for right now, is just getting some new members in, growing. Everybody has good ideas. We don't always have, the people or the time to do the ideas, because we still want to make sure people have that time outside of the club. They should be worrying about home life, work life, Lions Club life shouldn't come first, kind of thing.
But very important that you do that, and looking for members. I think every group in the organizations in the area are. Can you join anytime during the year?
Yeah, you can join anytime during the year. We have membership forms. People are welcome to come to meetings. They're, I want to say, typically the fourth Sunday of every month, but we're coming down to the end of the year. So we have one meeting left in November, and then we skip December. We don't have a meeting in December. Everybody's busy. We do the Halloween, or not the Halloween, we do the Santa,
yep.
And then small break in the winter. And then actually this year we are potentially going to be helping the Ithaca Lions Club with a pancake breakfast coming up that they are looking at doing. So look for more on that coming up in the future too.
One of the things I've noticed, Jake, is that so many of your events involve entire families. I mean, they're not just for a bunch of adults, but you include it. I think that's you feel like that's important, don't you?
There's a word for it. All inclusive. That's the word I'm thinking of. So our events are always all inclusive. Everybody come down, whether it's family, whether maybe you don't have a family, do your own thing. We don't care. Come down, have a good time, support the community, support us. Everybody's supporting each other.
What are the hours again for Saturday's event?
Noon to 4.
All right.
So, and then for the costume contest, they are doing the judging at 3:45, and then the winner will be announced at 3:50 for the costume contest, and then there will be photos taken of the winners to post on our social media pages. And then last year, after the Halloween event, we actually had a small article in the Richland Observer.
Okay.
Too.
And then most of the events are at the park.
Yeah.
And weather permitting, you're going to hopefully be outdoors for all of them.
Weather permitting, we're going to try. And yeah, most of our events kind of centralize around the park, just because that's the area we're trying to bring focus to, because that's what we're trying to get up and going first. That was why we started the whole Lions Club thing in the beginning, was to get that one park fixed up and going and then branch out. And we've already worked on branching out and helping other areas too, which helps get our name out there too.
Well, you're doing a wonderful job. Good luck with your event on Saturday.
Yeah, thank you.